And here we are looking at SLJ job number 1. Looks like it mostly spidled along the seam right here, so the glue joint failed. I could just make another top for it, but I'm going to try and repair that one. I'm not trying to be a master craftsman here, just trying to do poor man's repairs. I know one might argue a poor man might not have a cordless screwdriver, but I have one, so I'm going to use it. This isn't a fine woodworking video. This isn't a master craftsman video. This is a making a repair until I can make a new one or replace it. Oh, looks like that's a number 1. Make sure that's a Phillips. Yep, that's a Phillips, and it's a smaller size one. How nice. Well, I didn't find a screwdriver tip in a number 1, but I've got this 6-way screwdriver. Yep, that's a nice fit for a number 1. And since I've already beat on it with a cordless, I'm going to take these out by hand, just in case they're a little bit rounded. Because if I destroy these screws, that kind of defeats the purpose of saving them in the little plastic bag. Then I have to spend the gas and the time to drive to the store and buy new screws if I don't have some in the shop. And these come out pretty easy. Don't promise that will always be the case. Say we've got all 4 screws, and I've got my plastic bag. You might argue a plastic bag is kind of an expensive way to save screws for an SLJ, but it's a lot cheaper than losing them and having to go to the store and get more. Now to decide if I have enough tools to put this back together in the garage or if I have to go out to the shop. Alright, here's the board. It's not assembled yet, don't get excited. It's dirty because of all of the stuff people have set it on over the years. But if you look, it's actually a perfectly, well, not perfectly straight, it's a straight glue joint failure. There doesn't appear to be any wood failure. So it's possible somebody used a plain yellow wood glue or a plain white wood glue that wasn't water resistant. But if you notice, there appears to be a gap along most of that seam. And yes, I have pushed that together. So more than likely, those warped or twisted slightly, and that's what caused the glue joint failure. Let's see how that goes. Since I've squared this one up, I want this one to be square, but mostly I need to remove the old glue. All right, one more time. Alrighty then. This doesn't seem like a lot bigger machine, and it's not a lot bigger, but it's what I consider the smallest drill press that can be used somewhat professionally. As you can see, it won't slide under that shelf, but we can live with that. Ah, it's on. Must accidentally hit the switch when I walked in. Alright, this is also the smallest drill press that I've found that has a Morse taper. That means is it is capable of taking taper shank tools like this drill chuck. They go up in there, and just the friction of the taper holds them in place. And you can get drill bits that are like that. You can get tool holder, collet chuck tool holders that are like that. We're going to use a drill chuck. Previously I had a tapping head with a Morse taper on it that I was using in this machine, and all I used it for was tapping holes in aluminum. That might be too fast, but we'll give it a try. Well, it's faster, but it's overpowering the motor. I'm only drilling one hole to start because I want to make sure that my dowel rod will fit in the hole. And it will. What do you think, guys? About four dowels to strengthen the joint? Probably don't need that many. Let's just go with 3. Yeah, that's roughly the middle. That's roughly the middle. Wipe the sawdust off of there. Happened. There we go. All right, one more. And you're thinking, you don't know where those holes are, Bob. How are you going to line them up? It's pretty easy. There's some little tools here you can use. Hopefully I have the right size. If not, well then, the right size are probably the 2 that just jumped on the floor. That's just right. And because I have 2 sets, I can do all 3 at once. Now you're going to go, those don't fit, Bob. You're right, they don't. Most drills drill a little oversized, but brad point bits in wood tend to drill almost dead on size. Pretty good anyway. We're going to tap those in with a hammer, but we're not going to just tap directly on them because we don't want to wreck the points. But this scrap piece of wood will work nicely. Okay, that one's in. Let's go ahead and set that aside so it doesn't jump off and get lost. The hard part with using these is usually getting them out. And you may have to sacrifice the edge on a bladed tool, on an edge tool. But that's okay if you're a do-it-yourselfer. There we go. Or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you should be used to sharpening your tools, even if all you do is SLJs. Oh, having a hard time getting these to go in straight. All right. Then we just take these And we slam them together and it makes a mark. Well, it's not quite that simple, but pretty close. There are lots of people that tell you you shouldn't use your table saw as a layout table. And truth be told, they're right. You shouldn't. But it's a handy surface. Has some nice square references you can use. And my workbench that's right over there is all full of my son's project stuff. And one of the things you might be tempted to do at this point is grab this and smack this with a hammer. You really shouldn't. That hammer will leave dents and marks on there. And you should use a mallet, but I don't have a mallet handy, so I'm just going to grab another board that I don't care about leaving dents and marks on. And you may even be able to, if you're working with fresh wood, soft wood, notice I've got the two squared up against this fence. If you're working with soft wood, you may be able to just push on it like that, but this is old and hard and dry, so I doubt it. So each time now I put that smack right behind, in line with that dowel alignment jig, and I'm going to do it behind this one, and each time I make sure, before I hit it, that everything's lined up. And by using a nice square reference, you can set this up again, but I've got an adequate mark for all three of those. So I can now drill those holes. Now at this point I'm committed. Even if it doesn't line up, that's the way I got to put it together. If it doesn't line up, then I got to do a whole bunch of sanding. Yay, let's knock it on the floor and dent it and make it look terrible. Comes out pretty easy if you use the right tool. pull saw, not a particularly good one, but okay. It will be fine. So, wanna all right. Now we're going to do a rough fit up. Okay. And yeah, it's pretty terrible, but that's what we have. Oh, okay, we can get it out. Now, oh, found it. These little brushes are, last time I bought some were like $3.99 for 3 dozen of them. So I consider them disposable. And as far as I'm concerned, they are disposable. They're, I think they're called acid brushes or flux brushes. Probably Harbor Freight is the most common place to buy them. But I've seen them other places. I've seen them with other names on them. They usually, like I said, come in packages with 36 of them in a bag. What I said, don't beat on the board with the hammer. Well, actually, 2 out of 3 aren't bad. The third one's kind of off, so we're going to wind up sanding off the top of this board. Hey, supposedly glue joints are stronger if you clamp them, so we're going to clamp this one. I don't know, I've never done any testing myself. I did succeed in not getting a lot of squeeze out, but I still got some. But we're going to have to sand it anyway to eliminate this ridge. Sand it or plane it or something. So I guess it doesn't really matter. I'll see you in half hour, 45 minutes when that glue's set up. Remember, it's not fully hard in 30 minutes or an hour or whatever it says. It just means that it won't fall apart and you can work with it. Well, if I'd managed to line this up a little better, it'd be done. I just go slap it back on. But I failed. Well, that may be too far. It's not really within my skill set. That's not good.